You've probably heard of a celebrity that built his career for years and was destroyed in a snap. We didn't notice that this was because of the narcissistic wife's influence that shattered the career of that famous celebrity. How about you? Are you being maltreated with your narcissistic wife? In this case, here are the 10 ways that narcissistic wives treat their husbands. 10. They always get disappointed every day. Ever get the impression that you always need to please your wife? Have you noticed that your wife always gets disappointed every day in your marriage? Too many demands, too many nags, too many descriptions. You always get to the point that you want to do something bad to her, but you couldn't because of your marriage vows. Narcissistic wives always act like they are the boss of their husbands. They always get disappointed in their husbands even if they're doing the best they can for their families. How about you? Have you ever felt that your wife is always disappointed in what you do? Tell us about it. 9. They're always against their husbands. For better, for worse, are the wedding vows of being a husband and wife. But the question is, are your narcissistic wives true to their vows? Or are they just only there when you are in the best of your days? A better wife should always be there for their husbands, no matter what the circumstance is. Narcissistic wives are always against their husbands. Even if their husbands are accused of anything, they still go against their husbands because all they want is their money, not them. Have you noticed that even if you're in the right, your narcissistic wife will always go against your beliefs? And since she is your wife, you have no choice but to submit what she has to say about it. Do you still tolerate this kind of behavior? You better get out of your situation and focus on for the better of your children, even if you have to abandon your narcissistic wife. 8. Always fantasize they're the queen and husbands are servants. You should surrender all your money to me because I'm the queen. Have you heard this statement before? And if you did, does your wife say this to you every time you receive your paycheck? Frustrating as it is, narcissistic wives always think that they're the queens of the house. And since they're the queen, they don't need a king because they marry their husbands just to become their servants. Narcissistic wives doesn't contribute to the prosperity of their household. They don't even want to take care of their kids. Who doesn't want to have kids? Being a mother or a father is a blessing and a privilege given to any individual. Yet these narcissistic wives don't want to take care of these kids because they think it's a burden to them in every aspect of their life. So be sure to pick the right woman to be the mother of your children. 7. They let their husbands take responsibility for their mistakes. Ever heard of the word blame shifting? Narcissistic wives are experts because they want their husbands to clean the mess they've made. Narcissistic wives are wise enough to do the things they want to do, but when they make a mistake, they immediately call their husbands to take responsibility for their actions. Are you the one to tolerate this behavior? Because if you do, you might end up behind bars because of the things your narcissistic wife does to you. So better be on the lookout always and make sure that your narcissistic wife doesn't cause you any trouble. 6. Always distant in terms of physical and emotional. Women, especially wives, are best at showing their emotions. But when you have a narcissistic wife, they will never care about what or how you feel about your marriage. They will always distance themselves from you, even if you are married to them. They're so good at letting out their rampage to you. To them, you're an outlet that they should let out on what they feel without the slightest remorse on how you're feeling. Whenever they need attention, you're always there. But when you're the one who needs attention, even their shadow will never be there for you. So better check if your wife is distant, physically and emotionally, because that may be the indication that she's a narcissist. 5. Prevents their husband from making friends, especially women. Does your wife go to parties and when she meets other men, she flirts with them? Are you okay with that situation? But when the time comes that you want to go out to party and meet other women just to make friends, your narcissistic wife will rampage because of that. Narcissistic wives will always keep their husbands to themselves. They will never share them with others. Because to be honest, they're afraid that their husbands will be the ones to leave them, and they will no longer have the supply they need in order to go shopping and buy stuff they want. So before you get married, try to get to know your women, because you never know that you might be marrying a narcissist. 4. They place the blame on their husbands in everything. Narcissistic wives will always blame their husbands for every bad situation that is happening with their marriage. Whenever bad or worse things happen, they always blame their husbands for it. Even in the midst of trial, they always think their husbands are the one to blame. Even if it's clearly the narcissistic wife's fault, they always blame their husbands for every shortcoming of their marriage. How would you feel about this, being the man of the house and always being blamed for bad things that are happening? Depressing, right? 3. Letting husbands feel guilty if they want to be intimate. If you want to be intimate with your wife, does your wife accept your desire, or does she shove you off whenever you want to be intimate with her? The greatest benefit of being a husband and wife is being intimate with each other, right? But you question yourself, why doesn't my wife want to be intimate with me? Maybe because she has someone else, or maybe she never wants you in the first place. She only wants your money. In this aspect, what you can do is probably give her what she wants, which is freedom. If you don't set her free, you might be the one suffering much longer. So think about it in the long run. 2. Always threaten to leave their husbands. This is the favorite tactic of narcissistic wives, to threaten their husbands to leave them. They know that their husbands will be the one chasing them. As per the celebrity who crashed his career, because of love, you could do crazy things. But things took a turn because you will be the one suffering if you keep chasing your narcissistic wife. So think carefully on things you do and make sure it won't affect your career and future. 1. Doesn't remember their special days like anniversary. We always make an effort to remember all special days of our marriage, like monthsaries and anniversaries. But does our narcissistic wife do the same? I don't think so, because they don't even remember our birthdays, much less monthsaries and anniversaries. They don't like celebrating it because they think it has no value for them. So are you still gonna stick to your narcissistic wife if she can't remember your special days? Don't count on it. If there are narcissistic husbands, there's also narcissistic wives. And the way they treat their husbands are very different from the way narcissistic husbands treat their wives. Most males do physical contact by abusing and bruising the female, while narcissistic wives take advantage of their husband's income. Most of the time, narcissistic wives leech out their husband's money to use for themselves. Have you ever thought about why narcissists act and think the way they do? Do you believe a narcissistic person will always remain that way? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share this video.